figured it out. Wait, hold on. I gotta make this public. I figured it out. It's fine. I just plugged in the receiver. All right. Wait. I think this works. Huh? Hey, chat? You there? You there, chat? Look, if I'm not getting pixels on my screen indicating that people are watching, then I'm just a man talking to a screen, which is what I am in the first place. But just from an internal perspective, okay. Whatever. I think we're fine. Explain to me what carousal gender is, okay? Chat. Speak to me, chat. Oh, no. Chat. Okay, I think this works. Yeah, all right. Although I don't see any live chat. Oh, no. There it is. Good. Hi. Hello. Wonderful. Okay. Deplegender. I skipped a little bit, but we're on a mission here. We have to be good at what we do. Xenogender in the technogender system, it conveys one gender as a feeling of exhaust, depleted energy, and or tiredness. Wait a second. What do we think about deplegender, fellas? By Morphe of Fandom. So one's gender is a feeling of fatigue. So this is people with chronic fatigue disorder who have made it into a gender. That's interesting. I think associating your gender with something so negative is it's an interesting thing. It's like my gender is pain, you know, or my gender is like lack of something, which is interesting. I'm going to put that as a B+. It's interesting. There's something to think about there. Yeah, B+, low B+. What is this? Okay, this is one of the few ones where the PNG is kind of broken. Why do I have the developer console open? It's to figure out which of these emblems are which. Okay, maybe I could like reverse image search. Maybe I could look up this PNG and see if I could find it. Like reverse image search this one. Oh, all right, fellas. I need you to figure out what carousal gender is, and I need you to figure out whatever this one is. These two, I don't know. Okay, this one next. Sorry, these two. Those two at the front. Control gender. Oh, we already talked about this one. I think this one's really interesting as well, actually. Probably give it a B. Enagender? Come on. That's an S. You gotta. We all know what ENA is here. I assume we're all addicted to the same things. It's not carousal. It's carousel. Yeah. That makes sense. Search harder, Emily, who is searching them up and finding no results. Search harder. 4 a.m. is the best time to stream something like this. Yes. Okay, continue. Gender blast. PNG. Okay. Nothing. Gender canon? Canon gender? Oh, why are there so many that just are related to nothing? Is this it? What? I think, okay. This is unrelated, but I need to knock down aesthetigender because it's too broad. And there are more specific forms of aesthetigender, like solely pastel, which is an aesthetigender related to both pastel colors and bright neons. So I really should probably knock down aesthetigender. I think I put it too high originally because I didn't know what I was doing. I was foolish back then. Now I know. Dinogender. I can already guess what this one is, and it's an S. I already know it's an S. Dog gender. We're going to put this right next to cat gender. We're going to knock these S tier ones out. These ones, I get much less dopamine from. Ego gender. See, like, I feel like with this one, instead of having just 4 colors, a symbol would really do a lot of work here. Xenogender, where the only way to describe one gender is simply as oneself. So this is Max Stirner's gender. One's gender can only be described as themselves and is therefore unique to them. It can be combined with other genders like ego girl, ego boy. So my gender is so complicated that it can only be described as myself, but I'm a boy. Okay, cool, good to know. For every Tumblr user that creates a gender, there is a 4chan user that creates a political ideology. And when they meet, that's when real power takes place. Why do the femcells and the incels simply not date each other? Ego gender, interesting, very interesting. Oh no, where is it? This one? This one. I think it's too broad. Let me paint you a picture in which ego gender was a good tier. Ego gender is specifically the anarcho-egoist gender. It's built off of that framework, and if you identify as ego gender, it means that you also subscribe to the individualist, anarchist, Max Stirnerite philosophy. Sure, that's interesting. That's cool. There's a lot in that. Ego gender is interesting, It's like my own unique experience is only what my gender can be described as. Problem is, I think the specificity is what's missing. Like, what is that unique experience? It's too broad. It's too broad. Yeah, somewhere in the seas. Okay, I'm going to check the chat in case we figured anything out. I identify as every gender except the agender ones. Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't really considered the lore yet. We're gonna figure that out later. Echo gender. This is just to learn, okay? We've got to learn before we start making judgment calls. Echo gender is a gender that feels confusing and hard to understand. And in attempts to better understand the gender, someone who is echo gender will mimic the gender of individuals around them. Now, again, a lot of these are the same thing. This is chameleon gender. This is AI gender. So it's hard to really it's hard to give this anything more than the chameleon, because these three feel like the same thing to me. Emesis. I think what the Gender Wiki could really use is a centralized authority to be like, okay, these genders are all the same thing. There's not enough tangible difference between them. We're just going to centralize, boom. All of these genders are the same. And that centralized authority should be me. Meanwhile, here's essentially what I want to happen. They appoint me as the gender man in chief. The Drender. I'm the Drender guy. And they're like, okay, sort out all these genders. But what I actually do is I take the genders, I put them in my big bag, and I go into a far-off cave. Ooh. And I hide the genders in my cave. And I've got my little dog with me, and my dog goes, bark, bark. And I dress up my dog as a dog-gendered person. And I ride him into town, and I pretend to be Santa Claus. But then I see the genders for what they are, and my heart grows 3 sizes that day. And this is the empath gender, which I think we already have this one, don't we? See, this is what I mean. A lot of these are duplicates. Empath gender is exactly the same as this is the sociopath gender, if you forgot, and this is the empath gender. So I'm not sure what the difference between this gender and this gender is, and I'm not going to look it up because I already know it's called empath gender. Like, come on. Demigender. I think I'm going to put this one here. Put this one over here. Yes. Yes. Like below male and female. Slightly below male and female. nbflag.png. Okay, so this is just the general non-binary flag. Again, this is another big cornerstone. I think we put NB as B tier. Well, I don't know. It's so broad. I think maybe NB and trans should be together, and maybe both should be bumped up to like low B. Because like these are like an important. This is like a cornerstone. So, okay, let's see this one. Endogender. Already, I feel my attention waning. I feel myself getting weak. Endogender. I don't know how much longer I can go. And yet I still feel like I haven't even made a dent. Endogender is a gender for when one's gender is fluid or fluctuating, but is always at least somewhat related to a given gender. Now, I hate to say it, but this is the same thing that I've seen a million times before. And I keep going and looking for different genders that say different things, but I still find the same thing over and over again. The same thing over and over again. LGBT lore. The L is for lore. Endogender is a gender for when gender is fluid or fluctuating. Okay. One could always be at least partially masculine, feminine, androgynous. All right, I am going to put this one in D. Because it's the same, well, no. C minus. I'm going to put them with this one. That's the same thing as those ones. All right. You know what? I have a strong inclination that this one's going to suck as well. Okay. Let's figure this out. Emesis is a gender modality where one feels heavily related to their assigned gender at birth, which makes them comfortable by going by cisgender, even though they're not cisgender. All right. So that's pretty lame, not going to lie. I'm going to put that in F tier. No, I'll put that as low D. Low D. Epicenogender? Epicen. Like, I want to make it really clear. At this stage, it's 3 a.m. or whatever, you know. I'm not enjoying this. We're not having fun here. We're slogging. This is a trek through mud and mire. But we're going to finish this tier list. We're going to finish this tier list. It's the last thing I do. Lack of gender distinction. Z. No, F. Erinevian flag. Erinevian. One's gender identity doesn't necessarily shift, but there's still a disparity between how it feels and seems internally. For example, one might feel that their gender is a min gender, but when trying to visualize and conceptualize their gender, it may appear as something completely different, like a ball of light, a plant, etc. Erinevian people can have any or all genders. There's just a disparity between those genders and their conceptualization. I don't like it. A crown. There's some dopamine here. Facility. This is like how any drug works. It lures you in with the promise of bright lights, fancy colors. then all of a sudden every hitch you take becomes less and less fulfilling until you're just doing the thing that once brought you joy over and over again, slamming your beak into that button, not knowing if the food's going to come out, You're just in a little box. You're in a little box made by this guy called Skinner. Seymour Skinner and his Skinner box. Tongan individual assigned male at birth with feminine gender expression. This could be compared to being a trans woman, a feminine non-binary, a feminine boy. Okay, I know exactly where this goes. A little misled by the crown, but this is going with the Jews. I'm putting this right squarely with the Jews. Serial, do you know what carousel gender is? Please tell me. I need to know. Gender. However, slow mode is on, so. Carousel gender is like the clothesline gender, but they see their gender like a revolving carousel that they can only see one side of. Revolving carousel they can only see one side of. So like their gender is like this 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional object that changes and shifts through time. It's kind of like, imagine you're looking at me and I turn to my side, and in turning to my side, I look completely different. It breaks continuity within this dimension. There's something to that. But yeah, I agree. Ultimately pretty boring. Give it like a B minus. B minus doesn't exist. I'll give it a C. Yeah, I think it belongs right here. Okay. Let's figure this out. Gender, what's this? A gender that is a little bit boy, a little bit girl, a little bit non-binary, and the rest is something else. All right. That's pretty good. Give that like a B minus. I'll give it a B, low B. Did I move this? Yeah, I'm gonna give this a low B. Oh, this is a C. What am I doing? I'll be honest. I've fought, and there's still so many left. And it's enough to make a man want to give up. I think I need to lie down just for a little bit. Is YouTube the place for art? Really? That's not to say that it's not a place for art. I guess the better question is it a place for artists? Is anywhere a place for artists? Do we have a place for artists? What do artists thrive off of? Is it community, or is it just the ability to express themselves? Because, I mean, you give an artist the ability to express himself, sure, he'll express himself, but if he's doing nothing but creating art, then eventually he'll just start expressing art about art. And art about art is no art at all. That's just some kind of closed feedback loop. Nothing growing, nothing changing. You're high on your own supply. I don't know. if it is the place. It could be. It could be. It really could be. And I don't know. What do we even mean by art? What do we define by art? I think there's a difference between art and this numb drip feed of dopamine content that exists. And it's hard to get away from. I mean, I don't know if you can get away from it. It's the system. It's the process. You can lean away from the process and get subsumed, or you can lean into it and get subsumed. Either way, subsumption is the end result. I think I remember seeing a flag with a frog on it. Oh, let's find out what that one is. All right. Where's that frog? I'm just kidding. I didn't see a frog. But there's a big lock over here. Lock gray gender. Lock gray gender. A gender in which one feels like their gender is locked behind a grayed out icon. The lock could feel as though it represents a level that one cannot access in, like a video game. Maybe just be described as being able to see the silhouette or basic details of the actual gender, but one cannot tell exactly what it is. I think that one is like probably another low tier. I feel comfortable giving out low tiers more frivolously now, especially the ones that are like about confusion or not really knowing which one the gender is. So yeah, give that one a D tier. Let's see this one. Ezinor flag. Ezinor flag? Let's look that one up. Ezinor is a term used for those who are incapable of labeling their gender, sexuality, romantic orientation, or another similar identity due to trauma, neurodivergence, mental disability, or physical disability. Interesting. The term is exclusive only to those whose physical and or mental disabilities/disorders is the cause of their incapability to label their identity. Again, I feel very comfortable giving this a low score. Okay, that's blast gender. I couldn't find that one out. Fafafine? Fafafine. There's nothing. Fafafine. Oh, you know what? This one's got a Wikipedia article about it. I'm guessing, like I'm 99% sure this is going with the Jews. I'm using that as shorthand for all of the ethnic and cultural, quirky little things that there are. Although if we're putting transgender next to non-binary over here, we really do need to just kind of put all these together, I think. Okay. Yeah, third gender or non-binary roles. I think we're putting all those traditional ones over there. Urgy gender. Where are these prefixes coming from? That's what I want to know. Urgy. The traditional third gender role from Northern tradition. Aha, boom, again. We know exactly what to do with this. We don't have to read the whole thing. Put it with the Jews. Throw it with the Jews. Perfect. Okay. Next. Etheria. A gender that is strongly connected to femininity, girlhood, womanhood, but not in the same way as a human woman or girl would be connected to femininity, girlhood, and womanhood. So, I don't know. It seems like being a woman with extra steps. D tier. Etherio, same thing as Etheria, D tier. EU gender. They said better be another political crossover or else I'm going to be very disappointed. Oh, pronounced EV gender or F gender. So why is it EU gender? Absolute affirmative gender as opposed to anti-gender. Anti-gender. Do we have anti-gender? Now that's interesting. Whoa. Now we're talking. Do we have anti-gender? No, come on. We got to have anti-gender. We don't have anti-gender. Well, let's learn what that is. The first is an umbrella term for any gender that can only be described as being the opposite of another gender. Okay. So anti-boy would be the opposite of a male. However, anti-boy would not necessarily be female because male and female are not true opposites. Okay, we're getting into very high concept stuff here. That's powerful. See, that is fascinating. That's a fascinating thing to chew on. The idea that, trying to conceptualize male and female not as opposites, and then saying an anti-gender of a male is not a female. It's just whatever the opposite of a male is. Positive and certain gender experience, where one is certain that they are a given gender. It is also useful for some individuals to define a given pair of gender as eugender, anti-gender pair within their gender experience. Okay. So this is an anti-gender. So if you are a girl, for example, girl or ev girl would be the eugender of anti-girl. Right. Okay. So basically we're saying anti-girl is over here. And so when we're talking about the girl, we're not talking about the girl. We're talking about you girl, ev girl. All right. That's interesting. But as it is, it's not saying anything. It's not adding really anything. I'm going to put it just like C-. But anti-gender has legs. So when we get to anti-gender, we'll figure that out. Okay, exicogender. Exicogender? When thought about, feels empty and draining. Okay, I know where this goes. Goes right with the battery. Where is the battery? Okay, here. This is where it goes. Right next to the battery. Because I think there's definitely something to be said about identifying your gender with negative stimulus. Externus gender. Externus. A gender that feels distanced from Earth and its gender binary and alienated from other gender identities. It is based on and or related to aliens and other extraterrestrial life forms. Based. Absolutely based. Perhaps the gender of Posadas. Who knows? Wait, hold on. This is the Posadas gender. Huh? Bit of communism, a bit of aliens. Okay. There's still a full page worth of them. I want to just take a quick break. Just to take a quick break. It's good to pace ourselves when we're doing things like this, I feel. What is the solution to noise? I know what the solution is. It's simple when you say it out loud. It's silence. All right. And we're back at it. We're back at it again. All right, all right. Where were we? Where were we? Huh? Where were we? This gender stuff is more complex than gene sequencing. It's true. Gender complexity. Okay. A very fitting follow-up gender. Okay. We don't seem to have it there. I see a blog post about gender complexity. Okay, I'm having trouble understanding what gender complexity is. You can do your own research. Gender is one facet of complexity. Gender is complex. Young people today are exploring their gender in ways that explode my generation's understanding of gender as binary, universal, and fixed. Okay, so it seems like there are three main pillars of gender. One is it's the fact that it's binary, smashed, universal, people everywhere are the same, smashed, and fixed. The fact that it stays consistent throughout time. Blow your mic so you can wake up the sleep genders. There's no way that's a thing, eh? Oh, go to bed, Greg. Oh, you're... It's tempting. It's tempting. I feel a pull towards my bed, towards the warm embrace of the comforter, and towards the sweet kiss of unconsciousness. But we've got a gender tier list to do, fellas. We've got a gender tier list to do. And ladies, and cat gender. The three gender. Is this a political compass? Am I looking at a political compass right now? Gender shuffle. Okay. Gender shuffle. Again, nothing. Nothing. Oh, a gender shuffler. Okay, there's a lot of interesting stuff.
Hi, and welcome to Two Dumb Schmucks, where two idiots talk about things that are way above their pay grade. We're also going to talk about, we might touch a little bit on Black Lives Matter if we have enough time.
Yeah, and the person's name wasn't paid, so it wasn't a female.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that those guys weren't talking about gender in the same way that I am right now. Gender Shuffler. Oh wait, hold on. There's a YouTube video called The Great Gender Shuffle, and I thought maybe it would have been related, but probably not. Also, gender complexity seems to me to be just like a concept. I know I haven't rated that one yet, but I'm going to put that one just as like a kind of a C, as like a filler, because I don't even think it should really be on this list based off of my understanding of it. Gender Shuffler. Act of mixing and matching two or more genders. One can also change the number of genders at one time. Okay. I'm not excited by these metagenders quite as much as I maybe should be. It just doesn't do it for me because it's too broad. Like, something that's exciting to me is cat gender, dinosaur gender, anarchist gender. I mean, it's so specific. I know it's evoking something, and it's not like it has to be, this specific thing. But if there's a flag, if someone manages to get a flag, which is like, this is specifically a flag for when I'm a dinosaur half the time and a cat the other half the time. That's the SS tier. SS plus. If you're a fascisto gender combined with an anarchist gender, that's the SS tier. That's what we're looking for. That's the holy grail. Not expecting to find that, but just kind of like that would be the hypothetical peak. Fanfic gender. A xenogender connected to fan fiction, those who identify while reading or writing fan fiction, like you might be male when not reading fan fiction and female when reading fan fiction. You might also use fan fiction to better explain your gender or a specific fan fiction to explain it. I have a strong desire to go to bed. And I think that might have pushed me over the edge. I think it may have pushed me over the edge, that one. I just looked at the chat and it's moving so quickly. And everyone is saying different things. So many different things. I can't do a round 3. I don't have time to do a round 3. No. I will do it. I'll do what I need to do. I will do my duty. Okay, fanfic gender. Exist non-binary. Okay, so this is the fanfic gender, and the fanfic gender changes. Anyways, my unironic political ideology is cat gender.